Hey everybody, welcome to
Hey.
me BP1 and BP2.
Here we are.
Today we got a special video for Mark, one of our... Well, he's been a patron for a little while now, Mark. We finally got around to doing it.
Sorry,
this
Mark.
is when Led Zeppelin met Elvis Presley back in 1974. A little story, which is really interesting, I'm guessing. Anything that the Led Zeppelin guys talk about is always interesting.
Yeah.
This is on the Letterman show.
Okay, cool.
So yeah.
I mean, obviously, we've done a couple of Zeppelin on here. Obviously, we know them, so it's a bit hard for us to do reactions to somebody we know. But we've done quite a lot of Elvis because BP1 over it. You know, before we started doing the reactions, he kind of heard of Elvis a bit before his time because he's a young'un. But since we've done them, you've really seen.
I love the way he says that I'm a young'un. Still plus 40.
Yeah,
but,
I'm plus. I'm just a few minus 60. But you've been impressed, haven't you? You kind of
Elvis,
you didn't understand the hype before, and Elvis, you know, since we started doing him, you can kind of see charismatic and just a born showman. So let's see what Led Zeppelin got up to when they met the king of rock and roll.
All right, let's have a listen.
First guests are members of the legendary rock and roll band Led Zeppelin, for God's sakes. They this weekend in Washington, D.C. to receive the Kennedy Center honors.
So we did the Kennedy
this is their new
things.
CD, DVD entitled Celebration Day. It's in stores now. What are we doing here? Please welcome Robert Plant, Jimmy Page, and John Paul Jones, everybody. Yeah. Thank you very much.
The walk-ons have slowed down, haven't they, since the early days? It's got some boots on there.
Congratulations. Robert, I had met before from the show. Jimmy and I had never met, nor had John and I had met. But it was fun, wasn't it? The weekend?
It was great. Yeah, it was really so easy compared to the something that goes on over the river, over the water there.
Oh right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty stiff there.
Have you've all received comparable awards in your home country?
No.
Oh well.
Kennedy
It was good to see everybody.
He's a great bass player, though.
Yeah.
You know.
And then you were nice enough to come up here and visit with us again this evening. Thank you very much. Now. Buddy Guy also receiving the Kennedy Center honor.
Oh, yeah.
I know a Buddy Guy through Paul Schaefer, who brought Buddy Guy here early on in the 80s when we started the show, and he's been here many times. Buddy Guy is a name that influenced everybody when you were kids?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. When we, like, for example, Jeff Beck and myself, we were still probably teenagers when we heard Buddy Guy, but just hearing the I remember being with Jeff and playing the vinyl with which was called Folk Festival of the Blues, where Buddy Guy's really young on it, and he's playing with Muddy Waters, the Sonny Boy Williamson, etc. You know, Howling Wolf, but he sings 2 songs on it, and just the whole delivery and the passion and the drama and this guitar is just out of this world.
Now these names that you mentioned, Sonny Boy Williamson, Howlin' Wolf.
Never heard of him.
Buddy Guy, Muddy Waters.
All the old blues boys.
Men seem to have had tremendous influence on British musicians early on. Do we know
all the stuff that Clapton and that was listening to?
The same kind of influence on young American musicians?
Absolutely, but I think it was the Brits that really brought that music back over to us and inspired us to start appreciating it, where it was underappreciated for so long.
Oh yeah,
so guys.
Yeah, some main movers. I mean, Canned Heat. There was some guys who went out and brought some of the guys from the Delta who'd sort of given the game up, and they brought them back to the Newport Folk Festival in the early mid-60s, something like that.
Yeah, we done one Canned Heat, didn't we?
I think it's fascinating that and you guys were in your teens, just out of high school, more or less, when you started, that you're influenced by this relatively obscure group of blues musicians from the United States. It's just wonderful. And now it's all come full circle many times for them. And who else was in your class of rock and roll bands?
Well, from Newport, Virginia, Gene Vincent with the blue caps.
Right.
And you know, Brian Setzer with his big orchestra, he's like a complete aficionado of the Vincent catalog. Cochran and the King, Elvis.
Yeah.
We met him, the four of us met him in about 1973.
Now, how was that in terms of
Four of us, yeah,
personality?
of course.
Well, he had a lot of chicks.
Shit.
So he got something going on, but
So you had that in common with Elvis. A lot of tricks. But I mean, to be in London when you guys were kids and all of the music going on and the Rolling Stones and the Kinks and the Beatles and the Who and I mean, there's never been anything like that, has there?
Were there other bands? I don't remember.
I don't remember.
But did you all know one another? Would you hang out? Would you visit? Would you gig with one another? Would you work on each other's music?
How many no's do you want?
How many no's do you want?
Fine.
We basically saw each other in airports.
Is that about it?
That's about it.
Yeah. So the music never intersected. Nobody ever called up and said, "I'm doing a record. Would you like to come over and play on this record, and then we can do that on your record?" Or
well, these guys worked together a lot. Me and Bon, I was working on the Blacktop, and Bonham was stealing cars. I mean, we were busy in another part of the
Working
world
on the
altogether.
Blacktop.
Really, these guys were kind of high flying, playing on lots of people's
Tarmacking.
records and stuff.
had you mentioned the part about stealing cars to the Kennedy Center people?
How long did it take us to get in there? Man, I like they thought I was born in 1960. Well, of course I was, but I mean, it took ages to clear that one up.
And then a tremendous success. The band, you guys, it was 12 years is about the run of the band. Is that right?
Yeah.
1980, the drummer dies, sadly, tragically, and you called it quits. Some people would say, well, sadly, we'll move on, but we'll get another drummer. That never crossed your minds, huh?
No, it wasn't. The fact was that we had the records out, and then we put the songs into the set, and that was just it was almost like another beginning for the second wind for the songs, because they were changing every night with the improvisation we were putting in, and there was no way with the amount of work and mutation that had gone on with those songs that we could say to another drummer, well, can you learn this bit and learn that bit? It just wouldn't work.
Right, yeah.
Jack Black, when you guys were being saluted last night, did a tremendous job, and he said that your music was about sex, was about Vikings, was about Vikings having sex. Is that a good evaluation?
Never really thought of that.
Well, we've left all the furs in the dressing room. I don't know, in fact, what do we use furs for nowadays? Oh, to keep warm. Yeah. I can't remember much about that, David. Really.
Yeah, it's a long time
Just a
ago.
bit about Vikings having sex with hobbits.
Oh, that's right. And also the hobbits. Well, I don't want to offend all of the hobbits tuning in tonight. But the music, help me out with the description. How would we describe it? How would I describe it? How would I say in a sentence the kind of music that you produced? All right.
He's a comedian, isn't he?
Okay,
He
fair
is,
enough.
yeah. He's quite straight, dry humour, isn't he? Uncle Joe.
Get it done. Get it done. Get it done. Well,
That bit's wrong.
oh, that part's wrong.
I tell you what, it's very handy having John Paul Jones nearest the host.
Not for him.
Yeah.
I've never heard him say so
speak
much
for
in his life.
yourself.
Speak for yourself.
Now, I want to tell you, I have two pictures here that say so much about you, about the world, about culture, and about how time changes people and moves on. This is less than 24 hours ago, this photo. Here you are with the
Kennedy.
President of the United States.
All right.
That was last night.
So we saw We actually did that. Kennedy
We
said
did
with Heart, wasn't
Stairway
it?
to Heaven with Heart, yeah. Left Heart. Hey, got your own aeroplane.
Yeah. Pretty classic picture, isn't it? That one?
Yeah, cool, isn't it? Some young boys living it large there, mate.
1973, you got your own airplane, and you don't need to button your shirts for takeoff. Oh,
Brilliant.
my God.
Your own airplane.
How
You know
old
you've
are
made
guys?
it.
You're just kids there, aren't you?
Some would say what went wrong, you know?
Yeah.
Where did
what
it all
did
go wrong?
Yeah.
My God. And so you sit there last night and you hear well-known, well-regarded musicians playing your
Good
music.
to hear their side
and
of it.
I said to you, I said, this sounds great to me. And you said, yeah, that musicians like playing Led Zeppelin music. It's fun music to play. And to hear your music coming at you from other musicians in the same building, is it exhilarating? Does it make you nervous? What is the reaction there?
Yeah.
Well, we didn't know what was going to... It was quite a surprise what was going to happen. So it was quite exhilarating to hear the different approaches that people had to the songs. And, it was... Kid Rock was fantastic. He did a version of Stairway that had a choir and an orchestra.
Oh, yeah, that was
and
very
then
nice.
after the guitar... Well, it was with the Anne and Nancy Wilson. They did a superb job to start it off. They started building and building. And then after the guitar solo, there's a scrim that goes up, and you see this. They'd already had a small choir on stage already, but a huge one at the back, and they started really rocking. It was great.
It was lovely. And
was
there
lovely.
were more people on stage doing your music than actually in the audience. It was a huge...
Yeah, true.
And then the Lenny Kravitz also was
Lenny
tremendous, I
Kravitz, of
thought,
course,
yeah.
yeah.
And what about the Vikings? Did you see them?
Yeah. Seriously, do me a favor. Next time you guys fly, take your shirts off.
That'd be funny, wouldn't it?
As long as it's not in here, this is freezing.
I know. So then there was not a completely reunion concert, but it was a concert with John Bonham's son, Jason Bonham, on drums. And this was in 2007, am I correct with that?
2007,
And this is the compilation from that performance, right? And I'm told that, what was the venue?
The O2 in London, the O2 Arena.
And requests for 20 million tickets. 20 million
20
tickets.
million tickets.
That's how many...
We'll just fit them all in. We sold them 20 million tickets.
The thing is, that's the third of
Now, in
Britain.
all fairness, some of those requests were for matinees. But still,
When you say matinee,
Yes.
is it the same kind of meaning that we have for a matinee?
I don't know.
Yeah.
What is matinee? Oh, no, I don't think. Oh, my God. It's nice to be here. And after after that weekend, it feels like we're all like I ought to be in the band, doesn't it? No, he says. No, it doesn't feel right. Well, I had great fun getting to know you guys a little bit, and certainly more than I had before. And what an honor. You guys deserve it. And I couldn't be happier you're here tonight.
Well, thank
And,
you.
and do me a favor
cool.
and come back if you will.
Okay.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
But hurry up.
Nice to be here.
Getting them three together is
Okay, so
Quite an
just a
impossible
very
feat.
small section there on the Elvis. I mean, he had a lot of chicks. I mean, maybe the person here, they've over-egged it when Led Zeppelin met Elvis Presley. I mean, I thought it was going to be more about what
it was
went
less
down
than
there.
about 10 seconds. So
Yes. Sorry about that.
unless
We didn't
there's
know.
another video, there might be another
Yeah.
video out there with a different story, or maybe a longer story when they met him. But but no, it's cool to listen to Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
and those
Just these
three
icons, isn't it? Yeah. You know.
Yeah, just icons. Yeah. Right.
They don't, obviously we don't see him doing many interviews these days, but Letterman seems quite a cool guy. I mean, again, somebody we know of. We've seen snips here and there, but not somebody that I've probably watched much of. He seems quite a decent interviewer.
Yeah, he seemed like quite a good one.
Quite an amiable chap, didn't he?
Indeed, yeah. All right. Well, there
Looks
you
a
go.
lot like Lily Savage or Paul O'Grady, doesn't he?
Oh, a little bit, yeah.
Bless him.
True.
Anyway, there you go.
There you go. A bit of Led Zeppelin for you today. Always great to watch, listen, understand. And if you hadn't seen that before, hopefully, you come with us on that one, and good bit of fun. All right. We don't score these things. We just give it a thumbs up.
Just a thumbs up.
Thanks,
yeah,
Mark,
interesting.
for your recommendation.
There we go. More
A
knowledge.
lot more info
added.
in that.
Yes.
Than we thought.
All right. Thanks for joining us. Nice one.
Till tomorrow. Bye from me.
See you tomorrow. Bye from him.
He's a 20th century boy.